When happiness feels fake, and why so many people secretly feel this way. Have you ever been surrounded by friends, laughing at a party, scrolling through vacation photos, or even achieving a goal you've worked for years to reach, and still felt absolutely nothing? Maybe you've smiled on the outside while feeling empty on the inside. Maybe you've looked around and thought, everyone else seems happy. Why does my happiness feel fake? If you've ever felt that way, you're not alone. In fact, millions of people wake up every day feeling like they're acting in a movie. They go to work, they post photos, they celebrate milestones, they smile when they're supposed to smile. But deep down, something feels off. Today, we're going to uncover why happiness can sometimes feel fake, why so many people experience it without talking about it, and what you can do when life feels emotionally disconnected. And by the end of this video, you might realize that the problem isn't that you're unhappy. The problem is that you've been chasing the wrong version of happiness. Part 1. The happiness trap. Most Americans grow up believing a simple formula. Get good grades. Get into a good college. Get a good job. Make money. Buy a house. Find love. And then, you'll be happy. Sounds reasonable, right? But here's the problem. Thousands of people achieve every item on that checklist and still feel empty. Why? Because society often sells happiness as a destination, like it's some magical place you'll eventually arrive at. But happiness isn't a destination. It's an emotion. And emotions don't stay forever. Imagine expecting yourself to feel excited every minute of every day. That would be exhausting. Yet that's exactly what social media quietly teaches us. When we constantly see people posting highlights of their lives, we begin believing happiness should be permanent. So when our own emotions fluctuate, we assume something is wrong. But nothing is wrong. You're human. Part 2. Why everything feels numb. There's another reason happiness can feel fake. Your brain adapts fast. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Think about the last time you bought something you really wanted. Maybe a new phone, a new car, new clothes. At first, it felt amazing. Then a few weeks later, normal. The excitement faded, not because the thing changed, because your brain adjusted. This happens with almost everything. Money, success, relationships, achievements. The human brain is designed to adapt to new circumstances. What once felt extraordinary eventually feels ordinary. This isn't a flaw, it's survival. But if you don't understand it, you may spend your entire life chasing bigger achievements, hoping the next one finally delivers permanent happiness. Part 3. The social media illusion. Now let's talk about something affecting nearly everyone. Social media. Open Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and you'll see endless examples of people living incredible lives. Luxury vacations, perfect relationships, expensive cars, beautiful homes, perfect bodies, perfect smiles, perfect moments. But here's what most people forget. You're comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's highlight reel. Nobody posts their loneliness. Nobody uploads their anxiety attacks. Nobody records the nights they cry themselves to sleep. What you're seeing is not reality. It's marketing. And when you're constantly exposed to curated perfection, your normal life starts feeling inadequate. Not because it is, because your perspective has been distorted. The more time we spend comparing ourselves to others, the harder it becomes to appreciate our own lives. Part 4. Success doesn't guarantee fulfillment. One of the biggest surprises people experience is realizing that success and fulfillment are not the same thing. You can have money and feel empty. You can have fame and feel lonely. You can have achievements and still question your life. Many successful people spend years climbing a mountain only to reach the top and discover it wasn't the mountain they actually wanted to climb. Because achievement answers one question, can I get it? Fulfillment answers another. Did it actually matter to me? Those are very different questions. And sometimes people spend decades pursuing goals that were never truly theirs. Goals handed to them by parents, friends, society, culture, or social media. The result? A life that looks successful from the outside but feels disconnected on the inside. Part 5. The real reason happiness feels fake. Here's the deeper truth. Happiness feels fake when you're disconnected from yourself. When you're constantly performing, constantly pleasing, constantly chasing approval, you stop asking what actually matters to you. Instead, you start living according to everyone else's expectations. And eventually, even your happiest moments feel strangely empty. Because they're not yours. They're borrowed. Real happiness doesn't come from impressing people. It comes from alignment. When your actions match your values. When your life reflects what genuinely matters to you. When you're honest about what you want instead of what others expect. That's when happiness starts feeling real again. Not perfect, not constant, just real. If happiness feels fake right now, it doesn't mean you've failed. It doesn't mean you're broken. And it definitely doesn't mean you're the only one feeling this way. In fact, many of the people who seem happiest may be asking themselves the exact same question. The goal isn't to be happy every second. Nobody is. The goal is to build a life that feels meaningful. Because happiness comes and goes. Meaning stays. So the next time you feel guilty for not being happy enough, remember this. You don't need a perfect life. You don't need endless success. You don't need constant excitement. You just need a life that feels authentic to you. And sometimes, the moment happiness stops feeling fake, is the moment you stop chasing it. If this video made you think differently about happiness, leave a comment below with one thing that genuinely brings meaning to your life. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more psychology and self-improvement content that helps you understand yourself and the world around you. Because